Hello everyone, welcome once again to Chem.top. Today I am starting fourth part, that is concluding part of chapter 3 of class 10th, metals and non-metals. Topics covered in this part are corrosion, that is corrosion of iron, aluminium, copper and silver, and alloys. Alloys may constituents of alloys and uses of alloys. Now I'm starting this chapter with the topic corrosion. Now corrosion we already studied in chapter 1. So the definition of corrosion is the slowly eating up of metal, that is the destruction of metal by the action of atmospheric air, moisture, etc. is called corrosion of metal. So first I am starting with corrosion of iron. Corrosion of iron is termed as rusting. Now, when an iron object is left in moist air for a considerable time, then a red flaky coating called rust is formed over the surface of iron. Now, this eats up the iron gradually. Rusting is an example of oxidation reaction. Now the reaction is iron when exposed to water and oxygen, then it is converted into hydrated ferric oxide. Formula is Fe2O3.XH2O and it is called rust. So this is very important. Formula of rust is Fe2O3.XH2O. Its color is brown and its name is hydrated ferric oxide. Now the next is conditions necessary for rusting. Now two conditions are necessary for rusting. First is presence of air and second is presence of water. Now to prove this we are taking one activity. Take three test tubes, test tube 1, test tube 2 and test tube 3. Now in first test tube we take water and there is air also present in it. In second test tube we take boiled water, that means all the air present in this water will expelled out after boiling, and then we put some layer, oil layer over it so that no air will come in the contact with the water. In third test tube we take only the like water is not there and only air is present and the traces of moisture present in it. To remove this we add calcium chloride anhydrous in it. The property of calcium chloride is that it absorbs the traces of moisture present in the air. So in this way we take the three test tube and keep this arrangement for 4-5 days. After 5 days if we observe, then we see that rusting takes place. You see the red dots here in test tube A. Now, so rusting takes place in test tube A because here water and air both are present. In test tube 2 water is present but no air is there, so no rusting. In third test tube there is air but no water is present, so again rusting is not takes place. Hence we can prove that for rusting two conditions are necessary. First is presence of oxygen and second is presence of water. Now the next is methods of prevention of rusting. The first method is by oiling or greasing, second by painting. Now by oiling, greasing or painting, the layer of oil, grease or paint protect the metal from the environmental oxygen. Now third is by formation of alloy. Alloy is the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals and it is rust proof. For example, stainless steel. Now by electroplating, coating of other more reactive metal on the iron object is called electroplating. By galvanization, coating of zinc on the surface of iron is called galvanization. Now there is very important question that the galvanized iron is protected against rusting even if the zinc coating is broken. What is the reason for this? So the reason is when the zinc coating is broken, then zinc and iron both are exposed to air, but because zinc is more reactive, so it reacts with atmospheric oxygen rather than iron, and hence iron is protected. Now the next topic is corrosion of aluminium. Aluminium when exposed to air, moisture, it reacts quickly with oxygen to form a dull layer of aluminium oxide, that is Al2O3. Now this layer is very tough and protect the metal underneath from further corrosion. In this way corrosion of aluminium is useful. So this is again very important. Question is give one situation where corrosion is useful rather than destructive. So this is the condition. Now the next is corrosion of copper and silver. Now copper when exposed to damp air, it reacts with moisture and carbon dioxide to form a green colored coating of basic copper carbonate, that is CaCO3.CuOH whole twice. Second is silver. Silver is highly unreactive, so it does not react with oxygen, but it reacts with traces of sulfur present in the atmosphere like H2S. H2S is hydrogen sulfide gas and it reacts with sulfur to form silver sulfide, which is black in color. This is again very important. Now the next is some metals like gold and platinum do not corrode at all even if we expose them in air for longer time because they are least reactive metal, or we can say they are inert metals. Now the next topic is alloys. Now alloys is very important topic. In 2020 board papers, 5 marker questions was there from this topic, alloy. So first of all, what is the definition of alloy? Alloy is the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. Now remember one thing here, mistake क्या होती है बच्चों से कि यहाँ पे students homogeneous नहीं लिखते हैं, and alloys are the homogeneous mixture. Alloys बनाने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं? First we melt the metal and in molten state we mix two or more metal and then solidify it to convert it into homogeneous mixture. So this is the correct definition. You have to mention the word homogeneous. So this is the definition. Now alloys are made to improve the properties of metal. So again, very important question. What are the properties of alloy which make them more useful than pure metal? So the first property is alloys are stronger than pure metal. For example, pure iron is very soft and stretches easily when hot. But if we alloy it with carbon to make steel, then it becomes hard and strong. Secondly, 24 karat pure gold is very soft and not suitable to make jewelry, because अगर आप jewelry बनाएंगे then it will be easily deformed. So it is alloyed with copper or silver, then it can be used to make jewelry easily. Now the next is alloys do not rust easily, that is they are rust proof. For example, stainless steel, an alloy of iron, chromium and nickel, is rust proof, while the pure iron easily get rusted. Now the next is resistivity of an alloy is better than that of pure metal. Now more the resistivity, more easily the metal is heated up. That is why alloys are used in the electrical heating devices. Now alloys does not burn or oxidize even at high temperature. That is again the reason that we use alloys in the electrical heating devices. Now some alloys and their constituents and uses. First is steel. Steel is made up of iron and carbon and it is used for making airplanes, buildings, etc. Now next is stainless steel. It is the alloy of iron, carbon, chromium and nickel. It is used for making machine parts and utensils. Now the next is brass. Brass is made up of copper and zinc. It is used for making airplanes, utensils, medals, etc. Bronze is alloy of copper and tin. It is used for making utensils, medals, etc. Now solder is an alloy of lead and tin used for joining electric wires. Duralumin is the alloy of aluminium, copper, magnesium and manganese. It is used for making aircraft parts. Magnesium is the alloy of aluminium and magnesium. It is used for making lightweight tools. German silver is an alloy of copper, nickel and zinc, and it is used for making airplane wings, etc. Now, one more important thing is amalgam. Amalgam is an alloy where one constituent is mercury. So whenever in an alloy one constituent is mercury, then these alloys are called amalgam. Hope you like the video. If you find it useful, please hit the like button and check the description box for the links of previous parts of this chapter. Also subscribe my channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you.